League has a ton of champions. It's already pushing 200, and most of them have pretty distinct personalities. Maybe not all of them. Some of these characters are straight up super geniuses, while others are just plain dumb, and this video is all about the big brains. Basically, I'm gonna go through the smartest champion from each region. On top of that, I'm gonna rank them from the least to the most intelligent.
Now, Graves is too smart to walk into a trap. If you think he'd be stupid enough to bash...
Bilgewater is kind of a messy one. It's basically Zaun, but with less pollution and grime, except it makes up for it with even more criminals and shady stuff. Most of the champs from there aren't actually brainiacs. Maybe some of them were very smart in the past, but over time, they just got dumber. Like Graves, for example. Anyway, I ended up picking Misfortune as the smartest champ from Bilgewater. A lot of people might not get that at first, but if you've read her stories and seen what she's done, you'll know what I mean. She's crazy smart. All of her plans worked out. Like it or not, she was just some random girl with no family, and she managed to take down Gangplank, who was pretty much the top dog of Bilgewater. She really knows how to build situations in her favor. She's super manipulative in the smart way. She plans out everything, so yeah, she's seriously intelligent.
I'll help you save Teemo!
Lieutenant Lulu, this, rock is the most important part of the mission. You've got this. Bye!
I always have to guard the rock.
Vandal City is another tough one, because Yordles in general tend to be kind of dumb. I mean, of course there are exceptions, but overall Yordles are just weird. The thing is, the smart Yordles usually hang out in other regions doing their own thing, not really chilling in Vandal City, except for our boy Rumble, who's actually really smart and still lives there. Rumble's kind of like Heimerdinger. He builds machines and does all that kind of stuff. Though Heimer now, the canon version from Arcane, doesn't do quite the same machine building stuff he used to do in League or Legends of Runeterra, so it's a bit up in the air. But Rumble's still that type. He uses his brain, his IQ, to create all these inventions. Also, he's got a crush on Tristana. Fun fact for you. At first glance, the Demacians seem kind of dumb. They're the classic warrior types. Take a look at Garen. He doesn't exactly scream genius, but just like Darius, looks can be deceiving. Garen is actually pretty smart. Still, he's nowhere near the smartest in Demacia. That title goes to Morgana. Some people might argue it could be Kayle, since both of them are aspects who've lived for hundreds of years, so naturally they've picked up more knowledge and experience than pretty much everyone else in that region, but I think Morgana is smarter overall. She just handles things better. She's less extreme. Kayle's all about absolute justice, like no matter what. If you mess up, you get punished, you die. End of story. Morgana's more like, hold up, let's think about this. Did this person actually deserve it? Could they have avoided it? Were they forced into this? Was it even that serious? You know, she looks at the whole picture. On top of that, Morgana studies magic as a whole, not just the divine magic she gets from being in the aspect of justice. So she's smarter than Kayle for sure. Now, this next one's super interesting. This champ is insanely smart. Some people might question why I'm placing him here instead of further up the list. But the ones coming next are just on another level, man. And I'm talking about Jhin.
The stage is set.
Jhin is basically the Batman of Runeterra. We don't know if he's human. He moves like Rakan, super agile, so maybe he's part of a style. Either way, he doesn't rely on magic or anything like that. And he still bodies people like Zed, Shin, and Akali, sometimes all at once. He's always 10 steps ahead. His plans always work. That's why he's the smartest in Ionia. I thought about putting Kennen, since he's almost like 9,000 years of experience, but experience doesn't always mean intelligence, even though it helps. Karma is probably super smart too, but then we'd be talking more about the spirit itself, not really the person, Dara. And yeah, Dara's super wise, enlightened, Buddha style, but I still think Jhin edges her out. Now, this one's hard, really hard, because Zaun has a lot of genius level champs, like a lot. Echo is crazy smart, Jinx is crazy smart, Singed is crazy smart, Victor too. He basically transcended and became a god, but I think out of all of them, Singed takes the crown. Let me break it down. Jinx, she took that Hextech thing that was already kind of made, and with 0 resources, she adapted it to create her things. That's impressive, but she didn't invent Hextech from scratch. Victor did, but he didn't do it alone. He had help. And the whole transcending thing, sure, it's wild, but it wasn't 100% his doing. There were arcane forces involved, and not just pure brain power. Now Echo. In the original lore, he built that time rewind device by himself, with scrap in a literal junkyard. But in Arcane, he needed Heimer and Jinx to help. So yeah, he got nerfed, at least intelligence-wise. So that leaves Singed. He's the only one who walked out of Arcane as a total winner. He had 0 losses and gained everything. All his experiments paid off. And not just in Arcane. He's gonna do even more in the main lore. The weapons he builds, the destruction he causes, Singed is the top genius of Zaun. No question. Now let's go over Piltover. Again, a region full of smart people, but I don't even think there's even a debate here. Heimerdinger is hands down the smartest champ in Piltover, no contest. Jace would probably come in second, but he's not close to Heimer. The only thing holding Heimer back is how cautious he is. If he was just a little more bold, and if he were the main character of Arcane, like really center stage, he would have done so much more, just like he does in League and Legends of Runeterra. This next region, yeah, Riot kind of forgot it exists. There aren't a ton of genius level characters here, but they're not also dumb either. It's just that it's not very developed in the lore. Milio, for example, looks like a kid, but he's actually quite smart. Since he was super young, he mastered the axiom of fire that heals, which only he has. But he's not the smartest, and it's not Kiana either. Even though she's a complete prodigy, mastering all of the elements, when most people from Ishtal can only control one, she still falls short of number 1, Skarner. Skarner is a creature that's thousands of years old, and insanely good with earth magic. He's super wise, super knowledgeable, and yeah, just straight up intelligent. He created Ishtal. He created the Yuntal, the highest ruling caste of Ishtal. He studied, he lived, and breathed magic. And for a long time, he was the one running Ishtal. Sure, he's kind of going crazy nowadays, but that doesn't erase all that he's done. Just like Skarner, I also go completely crazy when I see that you still haven't liked the video, subscribed to the channel, or even thought about becoming a member to get all those cool perks, like getting early access to videos and picking video topics. Here in Freljord, we've got some ultra, mega, turbo, hyper, blaster, dumb characters. Like some of the dumbest in all of Runeterra. But we also have characters who are the complete opposite, like peak level genius. I actually had a hard time deciding who to put first. I was torn between Lysandra and Ornn. Both of them are really, really old. So they've stacked up tons of experience. They're super wise. They've made mistakes and learned from them. And on top of that, they're just naturally smart. Not just wise from their age. Their IQ is definitely up there. Lysandra's more of a manipulator, more into schemes and plotting, while Ornn is just a superior being in the sense that he's a demigod, not a mortal. I mean, Lysandra isn't exactly mortal either, but still, unlike Lysandra, who totally screwed up and brought the Watchers to the world, Ornn never did anything on that level. You could say that throughout his entire life, Ornn's never actually made a big mistake. The tragedy in his story is that his people got wiped out in his fight with Volibear, and it's not like he had much of a choice. It's not like he wanted the fight in the first place. But even considering that, I personally think Lysandra is the smartest in Freljord, but it could also be Ornn, depending on your point of view. Since we're already talking about Lysandra, let's move on to basically her Noxian version, LeBlanc, the creator of the Black Rose. LeBlanc is out here manipulating absolutely everything from the shadows. She's the one who sealed Mordekaiser, and she's the one actually pulling the strings in Noxus. A ton of major events in Runeterra have her fingerprints on them. And even though Riot loves to make her plans fail, she's just insanely smart. Her powers definitely help. Illusion magic, creating clones, and all of that. But that doesn't take away from the stuff she's done. Now, if LeBlanc is Noxus's version of Lysandra, then Thresh is basically LeBlanc's counterpart in the Shadow Isles. Even back when they were still the Blessed Isles, Thresh was already messed up. He had a dark heart and was super intelligent. He completely manipulated Viego into triggering the whole disaster that turned the place into the Shadow Isles. For 1,000 years, Thresh carefully planned everything, executing his plan step by step until it all led to the Ruination event, Viego getting sealed, and Thresh breaking free as the most powerful being in the Isles. Unlike Lysandra, Thresh never failed. Every single thing he set out to do worked, and it's not like his powers helped him in that department. Sure, he's ridiculously strong in general, but he doesn't have illusion powers or anything like that. He's just an elite manipulator. It's all brain power. Now, in this next region, a lot of characters aren't even human anymore. They've gone way beyond that thanks to the Ascension ritual of the Sun Disk, so their minds are naturally enhanced. I mean, they kinda have to be if they're gonna survive for centuries or even a millennia. Not that immortality automatically means intelligence, but it does help, especially for the case of our boy Nasus. He was already wise and strategic back when he was just a mortal human, and that only got amplified because he became an Ascendant. Now he's got infinite time to study and learn whatever he wants. Also, he locked himself away in a library that holds a ton of knowledge. Probably the biggest single source of information in all of Runeterra. Just listen to Nasus's voice lines and you'll instantly get how wise the guy is.
Who let the dogs out? Woof, woof, woof.
There's really not even much debate here, and it's not like any other character in Shurima is really in its league when it comes to intelligence. Quick honorable mention though, I thought about putting this character under Shurima since I honestly think he might be smarter than Nasus, but he's technically not from Shurima. He's from another region that barely has any characters, just him and Jax, and I'm talking about Zilean from Ikathia. Zilean is a mage who dedicated his entire life to studying time magic, chronomancy, one of the hardest and most complex schools of magic in all of Runeterra, and he mastered it completely. He basically trapped himself in a time loop where time stood still and just kept studying and training non-stop until he reached a point where he could freely travel travel through time. Past, present, future, observed alternate timelines, all that. He's basically Runeterra's Doctor Strange. Right now, his main goal is to find a timeline, a point in time, an event, anything that can stop the void from destroying the world. So not only is he incredibly smart, the guy's also a hero. And that's why he deserves a spot, because what he's achieved with time magic is just insane. And you'd need a ridiculous amount of intelligence to pull that off. Now, we're reaching a whole new tier. The next two characters, I'd say they're way smarter than everyone else on this list. Starting with the runner-up, Belveth. The Void has a lot of dumb characters because they're basically just creatures, monsters. But there's also some seriously intelligent ones, like Belveth and Vel'Koz. Now, a lot of people might think Vel'Koz is smarter because he was literally created to gather knowledge for the Watchers. He absorbs information from people's minds and sends it back to his masters. But Belveth did that on a much larger scale. Malzahar summoned her by sacrificing the entire city of Belveth. And it wasn't just a small city. So Belveth absorbed the consciousness, the brains, the lives, the experiences, the memories of thousands or millions of people. That obviously makes her insanely smart. She's got countless perspectives, countless different personalities, and life experiences inside her. She's extremely manipulative. She's been pulling strings all over the place. She's even going against the Watchers, which is no small feat. She's the first Void creature to ever do that. While the Watchers want to erase everything and return to nothingness, Belveth wants to absorb everything and turn the world into her Lavender Sea. So if LeBlanc is Noxus's Lysandra, and Thresh is the LeBlanc of the Shadow Isles, then Belveth is the Thresh of the Void, but on a whole different level, way above Thresh, LeBlanc, and even Lysandra. Targon is a region with a bunch of characters who've gone way beyond normal Runeterra limits. I'm including the Celestials here, beings that have existed since the very beginning of creation. And we're not just talking about thousands of years, not just millions, we're talking about billions of years of experience. And at the very top, the most intelligent character in League is Aurelian Sol. This dude was born alongside the universe. He creates galaxies. It's obvious that he's on a completely different level of intelligence. The only issue is his arrogance, which is what got him imprisoned by the people of Targon. But that's kind of expected. If I were in his position, or anyone really, that would probably happen too. And I don't think arrogance takes away from his intelligence at all. I mean, Nasus lost too, LeBlanc lost, Lysandra lost, a bunch of super smart characters on that list also got wrecked at some point. But yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.